Hello and welcome back to hour number 2. We're so excited to have you back with us here at Star School. If you missed hour number 1 of our Star School, you can go to starschoolsystem.com, and on there is posted hour number 1. And we went through the first 4 pages of the workbook in an hour. We made some awesome progress, Sheryl.
We did. It was absolutely awesome. Oh my gosh. And you guys, wow. We are so glad that you're here with us. Paul, this has been so much fun so far, and I'm so looking forward to today.
Yes. For today. So we did give ourselves some credit. We made it through part of page 5. So we're going to need to pick up the pace. This is a 3-hour series that we're putting together here. So we're shooting these videos now so that everyone has a great overview of what this Star School workbook's all about. We're going through this Star School workbook A to Z. You need to go to starschoolenroll.com to get onto our text message list, or on the left side of this, if you're on starschoolsystem.com watching this video, because this is where this video will be posted. On the left side, you'll see every single page in this workbook has a link to it on the left side of the website. So you click on text list, and there's, if you forget what how do I sign up for the text list? It's right there. You just click on text list, and then it says, click here or go to starschoolenroll.com to enroll onto our text message list. So everything, and this is one of the main reasons we put this whole program together, is a lot of people at Youngevity were so confused because there's so many different websites and they didn't know where to find everything. So we laid out starschoolsystem.com as a go-to website that has links to other sites and things, but it's really the hub for everything in your Youngevity business. So it's all in one place. So anything you need, if you call Sheryl and I and say, "Oh, where's the blank?" We're going to say starschoolsystem.com, and we're going to solve the broken record.
So excited! Woo! All in one place.
It's all in one place. So let's get started. Today we're going to we made it through module 2, step 3. We talked about the 12 and 30 plan, how we ended hour number 1. Today we're jumping into results. We talked about our RPM system a little bit, and I know Sheryl is going to go through that again just as a recap of what RPM stands for, and then we're going to jump into results. So Sheryl, what does RPM stand for, and why do we need RPM in our life?
Wow, Paul, thank you so much. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about RPMs. So when I say RPMs, what do you think about? Well, of course, you're going to think about a car and really revving those RPMs up. I mean, that's really, whenever I even hear RPM, I think about a car or like a drag race. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a drag race, but I've been to a drag race. You know how they step on the brake, but also step on the gas and really get those wheels turning, get those RPMs up. So, and what happens in a car when you rev up those RPMs? Well, you create power, speed, and momentum, and that's really what we want to do here with our Youngevity business. So, but let's go through and talk about what each of those means. So R stands for result. You guys, super important to know where you are going, where you want to get to, I guess. So you want to know the end. You want to know where you want to get to in your Youngevity business. So have any of you ever just jumped in your car for no reason with nowhere to go? Absolutely not. I have never done that in my entire life. If I get in my car, I've got somewhere to go. So as a result, let's just say that I want to go to the grocery store. Okay? So my result is that I'm going to go to the grocery store. Now, is there a reason why I'm going to the grocery store? Absolutely. So we need a purpose. The P stands for purpose. Okay? So we need a why. Why is it I'm going to the grocery store? What is our purpose for going to the grocery store? Well, I need to buy milk and eggs for my family. Okay, so I've got my result where I want to get to, which is the grocery store, and then I have the purpose or the why to buy those milk and eggs. Okay, so number 3 is the M. What does the M stand for? The M stands for map. So we need to know how we're going to get there. Okay, we need a map. Okay, so think about this. When you put an address, or for what we're talking about now, the grocery store address into your GPS system, right? You have the address that goes right in there. You don't say, oh, well, I'm going to go to the store. And by the way, it's a specific store. Okay. I'm not going to go to Safeway or Giant. I'm going straight to Wegmans. Wegmans has an address. We're going to put that into our GPS system or the map system to get us there. And I don't say, oh, I want to go to North America. No, I don't say, I want to go somewhere in the United States. No, there's a specific address of where I'm going, and that is what the map is for, okay? Another word the map stands for is a massive, or that the M stands for is massive action plan, which is probably my favorite. Because you guys, we all need to have a massive action plan. And I love how it's massive and then action, that little word in the middle, that means a lot. So we've got to get into action with this plan that we have. So that is what RPM stands for. And I promise you, you guys, as we work through this, and we're going to go over the results right now, we're going to figure out what we want. That's on page 8. But I promise you, as you put your results in place, as you come up with your purpose or your why, you know, why are you going there, and then get into action, it will change your business. Paul, am I right on that? It will change your business.
Sheryl, we've both been very successful in this industry, but just being real with everybody, we both struggled at times, and we deal with so many people that we're coaching that are struggling. That's why we were so passionate about putting this workbook together, to really have in black and white, it's in color, but in writing exactly what to do here. And I cannot emphasize enough. I mean, seriously, there's no way I could put a value behind what we're going to tell you in these next few minutes. Because if you don't get this correct, this result, this RPM, the result, the purpose, and the map right, you have no chance of being successful here. You have got to know exactly where you want to go. You got to have a really big reason why you got to go there. And we're gonna paint an analogy here in a little bit when we go through purpose that I think is going to help you a lot. And if you don't know how to get from your house to the supermarket, you're going to be lost. So you have to have these 3 things. So I'm so excited. This is the video today. If there's one video in your life that you're going to watch, it's this one, because you got to have RPM in your life. And as Sheryl mentioned, we're going to really rev up those RPMs. And I'm not a big fan of the word motivation, because I think some days I got to get motivated and some days I'm not motivated, and I apologize, I'm motivated to work today or whatever. These are the reason why you don't feel motivated, because you don't have any RPMs. When you have these 3 things in your life, the result, you know exactly why you want it, and you know how to get there, your RPMs go way up. You don't need motivation. You're being pulled by this, and it's just something you want to do. And not only does your RPMs go way up, but as Sheryl mentioned yesterday, your self-confidence goes through the roof, because now you know what to do and you know what you're talking about, and you can look people in the eye and say, I have a plan in place that's better than what you're doing now. And it doesn't matter what they're doing now. This is better than anything else out there. Is it perfect? No, nothing in the world is perfect, but it's better than anything else out there. So Sheryl, let's talk about R. What does R stand for?
Oh my gosh, I love that. So we're going to go over the results. And again, that is on page 8. Okay, and so what we've done is we've already written out a result. Okay, and so what you're going to do is all of you turn to page 8, and let's just read through that a moment. Paul, do we have time to read through that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so and I really like the way that we did this is we have the result as money, correct? Or as the amount of volume you need in your business. We have it as money. And then I love this because we've broken it down very simply so that you can see how we came up with this big number at the top, okay? So this is what it says. And you guys can change any little words in there. You can change things. It doesn't have to be exact, but we did want to give you a really great example. Okay, here we go. I feel so successful and fulfilled because, let me stop right there, you guys. I feel so successful. You are saying it like it's already happened. You guys, how fantastic is that? because we really, and this needs to really create a lot of feeling in you. When you read this, you need to get goosebumps. People, this is not about, oh, well, you know, whatever. Oh, no, this is creating that feeling, creating that excitement in you. Okay, so I feel so successful and fulfilled because I have built a Youngevity business that does 100,000 QV per month in sales. I am running a $1.2 million per year Youngevity business. Okay, I have directly, I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to let Paul talk a little more about why and how we came up with these numbers. He's the numbers guy. Okay, I have directly and indirectly helped 600 people achieve optimal health. That makes my heart sing. I mean, I love that. They are all on auto ship for 90 for life, plus the add-on products that they need. I am making, if this doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what will, but it might be more. You might need to add more to this number. I am making $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year, $2,300 a week, and $60 an hour in residual income. I qualify as a solid 5-star executive every month. I was able to achieve these results because I attracted and developed an inner circle of 9 amazing leaders. Each of my 9 leaders have better health, more money, and more time freedom because of my help. I have become best friends with all of them, and we have a blast together. I love this, but guess what? Not quite done. You've got to put a finish line. You've got to put the final date on there of when you want this done. I have achieved this goal by 8/23/19. Wow. Okay, I love that. That is so cool. And I think that we're going to just have a blank there. I have achieved this goal by, and it will say have a blank so that you can go ahead and fill in whatever it is you need. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the video because I don't want you to say, well, I guess actually, you know what, Paul, I think we can have 2, right? We can either have a short term or a long term. So Paul, I'm going to turn the time over to you quickly and go over those numbers for us.
Okay, great. That was so fantastic, Sheryl. And Sheryl mentioned this is absolutely an example. You can change any word in here. And the key is, as Sheryl mentioned, is to make you feel a certain way when you read it. So not only are we setting a result of where we want to go, in our minds, we're already picturing as if we're already there. That is the magic. Again, those of you that understand the law of attraction, those of you that have watched the movie The Secret, and again, if you haven't watched that, you should have watched it last night because that was your homework assignment. If you didn't watch that yet, make sure you watch it. It is the most important video you'll ever watch because everything is energy. So you've got to feel a certain way. As you can see in the tonality of Sheryl's voice and my voice, we feel a certain way. Like we haven't achieved our result yet, but I feel as if I have, you know? So I feel so successful and fulfilled. So this is, I wanted to put that word feel in there right at the beginning so it triggers in your mind that when you're reading this, you put yourself into state so that you're in the state of, this already happened. So I feel so successful and fulfilled because I built a Youngevity business that does 100,000 QV per month. Now you could pick any number in the world. That's the number I picked. And I thought it was cool because 100,000 is an even number. That gets you to build $1 million business. That should make you feel a certain way. Oh my gosh, I built $1 million business. Like that is going to make you feel significant. It's going to make you feel great. And that's what we're trying to do here is that feeling of, wow, that's fantastic. So I just multiplied 100,000 times 12 and I came up with 1.2 million. So whatever number you put in there, you multiply it by 12 and you're running that business. You know, so I've directly and indirectly helped 600 people. Now, where did I come up with 600 from? Well, everyone in Youngevity, I shouldn't say everyone, but the average order in Youngevity is $167. Just a little fact you want to write down on a piece of paper there. So I took 600 people times $167, and that's where you get the 100,000 from, 100,000 QV. Or I took 100,000 QV and divided it by 167 because that's the average order, and that's how I came up with 600. Okay, so that's how many people you will help if you do 100,000 a month. It's 600 people on auto ship. So I help 600 people achieve optimal health. They're all in auto ship for 90 for life and the add-on products. So 90 for life, again, is like 130 or somewhere's in that ballpark. Plus the add-on products, that's how the average person is spending 167. And then I just took, you basically make 10% of whatever your volume is per month. And that's going to include coding and fast starts and quick starts and residual and all that. So if you take the average person here at Youngevity and figure out their paycheck, it's basically 10% of whatever their volume is for the month. So if you do 100,000 volume in QV, you make 10,000 a month in cash. Now, there are some people who don't do coding. They don't sell CEO packs. So they're only focused on products. So they're missing half of their paycheck if you only focus on product. So that's why you'll hear Sheryl and I talk a lot about balance. You need customers and you need CEOs. You need both in your business. If you're too lopsided one way or the other, you won't be making the 10% because you're only getting coding if you're doing only CEOs and stuff. So you need the customers and the CEOs to get that 10% and have a balanced business. Okay, and then, qualifying as a solid 5-star. See yourself as being a 5-star already. Put that into your mind right now. Whatever you put into your mind, whatever you focus on, that's what's going to happen in your life. Okay, where energy goes, or where focus goes, energy goes. Okay, so I was able to achieve these results and attract 9 people. Remember, to become a 5-star, you need 9 legs. So there's 9 people. You got to visualize, I already have these 9 people in my life. You don't know any at all where they're going to come from. And I promise you, they're going to come from the craziest places. You're going to be at the supermarket one day and meet that person, or you're going to be at the DMV or some crazy place. It's going to happen, but you've been attracting these 9 people into your life the whole time because you've been reading this statement over and over and over again. I actually have recorded myself reading my statement. So when I have my headphones on, I hit play on my phone, and because I recorded it on my phone in the recording app that I have, and I listen to it over and over and over again, not just my results, but the purpose and my map. So I have it all recorded, and I keep on listening to it over and over and over again and programming my CD. So there's a CD that Sheryl and I talk about. There's one of these things playing in your brain right now. This is a CD. So there's a CD in your brain playing, and the CD has been programmed your whole life with thoughts. We got to change the thoughts that are on your CD. The good news is that this CD on it says CDRW. RW stands for rewritable. So your brain is actually rewritable. We can program new thoughts into our brain. The #1 selling book of all time, and during our personal growth program, the #1 book we have you read is Think and Grow Rich. It doesn't say work super hard and grow rich. It's Think and Grow Rich. This whole business is between your 2 ears. I tell everybody, you're 6 inches away of achieving all your dreams. And those 6 inches are the 6 inches between your 2 ears. So we've got to get our heads right. And reading this result over and over and over again and knowing this is where I'm going. And not only this is where I'm going, I'm already there. So you're already visualizing yourself. It's already being there. So, play with this. If there's any words you want to add that make you feel even more emotionally supercharged when you read this, then add those words in. There's no wrong way to do this. It's just like as Sheryl said, you want to have specific numbers in there because we're trying to hit a finish line. So we want to know exactly what that finish line is and have it very specifically described in there, and then have a date. So the date can be 3 months from now, 2 years from now, however long you want to make that date, but it's in the future. It hasn't happened yet, but there is a deadline and the clock is ticking, so that it's really important to have that. So we gave you space on the bottom of page 8 to write in exactly what your result is. And we'd love for you to go to our Facebook group, and you should have been joining that already, the Facebook community page on there, and paste your statement, your result statement. So that you write it out, just copy paste it in there with your date in there, and we'd love to see you do that. So we encourage everyone to go and paste it on there. We should see hundreds and hundreds of people pasting their result statement, and we're all going to be cheering for you. We're here with you every step of the way. So Sheryl, if there's any more you want to add to that, please do. And definitely I want you to touch on this quote on the bottom of page 8 there.
Yeah, I thank you. I sure will. I just, this is one of my favorites, and I really believe it's so true. So Tony Robbins says, if you don't set a baseline standard for what you'll accept in life, you'll find it's easy to slip into behaviors and attitudes or a quality of life that's far below what you deserve. Wow. And I love that because it's so true. If we're not paying attention, if we're just going through life and you have no idea where you're going, you don't have a plan, you don't have a result, you're like, yeah, whatever, life's whatever. And you guys, I know this. I used to live like this. I understand that, that you may not know, but that's okay because that's just all about personal development too, that we'll get to in a few minutes. Once you know, you can do something about it, and then it's like life gets 1,000 times more exciting. So you guys, result, super important. Make sure that you have it. If you don't have it, then let's push pause and let's get in there and really write that. And so that you have that and it really, really is in your heart and really creates this feeling within you. And then Paul, I think we'll just go ahead and move on to purpose.
Yes, so RPM, second letter is P for purpose.
Purpose.
So, yeah, now don't get me wrong. You have to have it in your head of where you're going to. That's step one. But a lot of people say, well, I want to make $10,000 a month. And, so again, Sheryl and I have been doing this both for over 20 years each. So we hear this over and over and over again. I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to make this. I want to do this. Okay, great. And a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, they don't achieve that. And it isn't because they don't want that, that result. They do want $10,000 a month. It's that they don't get the P right. They don't get the purpose. They don't have a strong enough why. Now, in Sheryl's example, she wants to go to the supermarket. And you don't just go to the supermarket for no reason. You don't just make $10,000 for no reason. Your brain's asking you, why in the world would you want to make that much money? What are you going to do with it? You don't want 10,000 pieces of paper. That's not what your brain wants. It wants to know, what can that paper do for me? This green piece of paper that has a number on it means nothing to your brain. It's what the paper can do for your life. So that's why the purpose is more important than the result, actually. This is the part that people get wrong. And just to talk about MAP for just one moment, the MAP is actually the least important of the three, because I'm telling you right now, and the quote is right at the bottom here, Sheryl, of page 9. Listen, this is the quote. You need to, if you're going to get a tattoo, this is the tattoo you should get. When the purpose is powerful, the price doesn't matter. If you got a big enough why you want to do this, people just do it. Because if someone was killing your child right now, you would do whatever you took to stop them. It doesn't, like, well, how are you going to do that exactly? You don't ask yourself that. You're just like, I'm going to kill the person. If there's a purpose, the reason why is so strong. We hear about these grandmothers that pick up a car because their grandson or grandchild is stuck underneath the car. I mean, how does a grandparent lift up a 2,000-pound car? There's just no way. But the purpose was so powerful. The why was so powerful, and they're going to do this, that they did it. And this is the part we got to get right now. And you can't take this lightly. This has got to be a time where you lock the door, tell your family that I'm busy for the next hour, and that I'm going to ask myself, what is my purpose? Why do I want to hit this finish line so bad? And you got to want this more than oxygen. I mean, that's how bad this page has got to, they say your why's got to make you cry. And they're absolutely correct. Everybody that said that this has to be the most powerful page that you have. And we're going to start off with an example. Okay, so the example that Sheryl and I use, there's two buildings, okay? They're both 20 stories high, and they're 500 feet apart, okay? And there's a plank across the two of them. That's 500 feet between the two buildings. You have to walk across this plank. That's what the analogy of building this Youngevity business. You're going to have to walk across a 500-foot plank to get the 5-star. This is not going to be easy. We're telling you that up front. This is not some get-rich-quick scam, nothing like that. This is probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your whole life, but it's going to be the most rewarding, and it's going to pay you for the rest of your life and have all kinds of other benefits that we're about to go through with you. But that's the analogy. Now, there has to be something on that other building so attractive that you're willing to walk across this beam, risk your life, and focus only on this so that you can make it to the other side. So what is it on the other side that's so attractive? Why do you want to make this amount of money? Why do you want to become 5-star? So you got to get real specific on that. So let's talk, Sheryl, about some of the things that people can write on. You know, what will you be able to buy and do when you achieve your desired result? When you get
and we're on, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say we're on page 9.
Yep, we're on page 9.
Yep.
Okay, so it says, what is your purpose for achieving your desired result? Why is it a must for you to achieve your desired result? So Sheryl, what are some of the things that are reasons why people would cross this plank and get to the other side?
Well, I love this, Paul, and there's actually 2 different ways that we can look at that. There's going to be some reasons of pleasure, right? So there's some things that we might want. I have a couple of really specific things that I would absolutely love. And then also the painful things. So it's the things I think that you want to get away with.
Yep.
Away from, I'm sorry.
Yep. So let's focus on the pleasure ones, or the good ones first. So share some of it of yours with you, Sheryl, if you would, on why you want to get why do you want to achieve your desired result.
Okay, so, and you guys already know a couple of mine. So one was my kitchen. One was the pool in my backyard, and we are still building that as we speak. So that's still on my list. So it can be an ongoing thing that may take a little longer than just something small. So I'll tell you a couple of other ones that I have. Okay, so
let's be a little more specific about this, Sheryl, because I love these 2 examples. They're my favorite examples because, you know, for me, going to your kitchen and seeing it, now I'm inspired to redo my kitchen. You know, so it's to build this. You know, because I want to build this $400,000 kitchen.
Correct.
You know, so you got to have a number in your mind and go out, you know, go to the kitchen store, start pricing out what would it take for you to build your kitchen. This is so fun. Like me and my wife went out and we did this. You know, we're like, you know, we want this specific kitchen. So what would we want? You know, these doors and this thing, you know, and then you start adding all these things up. So you're going to need money. So now you're justifying in your brain why I need to make this amount of money. So if you want to build a $400,000 kitchen in your house, you will have to make a lot more than $10,000 a month. Okay, so it's all relative on what your goal is, but your mind will say, oh, that's why I want to make that much money.
Yeah, and I love this, Paul, because once you say these things, like you're saying, so okay, I want this in my kitchen and this, and I have the pictures and I've said it and I say it every single day, the things that I want. It's amazing because everything starts to fall into place. For instance, we never had the builder that would build the kitchen because we wanted specific things and there was no builder that we could find for years. And then all of a sudden, I put it in, I start reading it every single day. I want this kind of kitchen. I want this kind of kitchen. I want this and this, very, very specific. I want the spice rack to pull out from the wall. I want these doors that open, but everything looks exactly the same on one wall. I want these glass cabinets up and around, and I want to be able to climb up some stairs or a ladder up there to change things out. And I want the top of the ceiling to be, I don't even know what it's called, but I think it's called like coffered or something like that. But anyway, it's indented in the top and a beautiful thing around it. I want these big, huge pillars in the kitchen with like a, what is this? A curb, like a, what is that called? Anyway, so I wanted all this stuff, and I'd have builders come in. Oh, we can't do that. Nope. I said, oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do it because I just know what I want and I know the pictures that I've seen. And so then guess what? Once I started saying that, it took a long time, like 1 year. Every single day, I'd say it over and over. This is what I want. This is how I want it. And my husband came up with all this great stuff. And so we were saying it together. We wanted it. But guess what? Once we did that, the builder came. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden, there he is. We could never find him. We could never find him. And there he is, ready to do it. And he is superb. He's fantastic and able to come in here. Oh, this is how I do that. Oh yeah, I do it like this, and I put these here, and and I'll come up with and he even had greater ideas than I could even ever come up with. And so that's what's so exciting about it. Once you say it and once you're doing it, guess what, you guys? The universe starts to work with you. And it all happening, and I promise you this, you have no idea how it will happen. Oh my gosh, Paul, I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I am too. Yeah, so Cheryl got all excited about her kitchen, so I'm like, oh, I got to do the same thing. So I went to the kitchen store, picked out everything. You got to build your kitchen exactly the way you want it, and don't cut corners. I mean, Cheryl just read that statement on the bottom of page 8 about setting new standards. The first step in change, you want to change, you're coaching someone in your life that wants to change, is to raise your standards. Got to be a new standard. And the new standard is this dream kitchen. It isn't just, I want to, repaint this. No. It's a whole redo. It's a knockout, and we're going to redo this. And Cheryl has made, once a mind stretched to a new idea, it doesn't regain its same shape. And I've hung around Cheryl now for a few years, and she has stretched my mind to new ideas. So I go to this kitchen, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I got so many ideas from Cheryl on I couldn't even think that big. And my famous story that I tell, I was 22 years old when I went to my first convention. I wasn't even with Youngevity didn't even exist yet when I first joined network marketing. And I'll remember it like yesterday. I was in the back of a cab, and I just got back, done with the convention. I was on my way to the airport, leaving. I was so excited. And I said, I just got back from the convention. It was so amazing. I'm so pumped up and stuff. I was talking to the cab driver. And I'm just so excited to really build a huge fortune in my life and make some great money here. I was talking about college, and I had a job, and I wasn't making that much money at the job and stuff. So he's like, well, how much do you want to make? And I said, I want to make $100,000. And he said to me, is that per year or per month? And I said, per month. Like back then, I was just young and I didn't know anything really. And I couldn't comprehend that someone would make $100,000 a month. That was just completely not even in my, but then it stretched, then it became my goal that, I'm going to make $100,000 a month. So once that idea gets planted, and so I can't, encourage you enough to go to Google, look for pictures. So then Cheryl builds this kitchen. So then I got my whole kitchen planned out. Then she starts making these blueprints for her backyard. So now I got to go out and make blueprints for my backyard. We brought people in, and we got, the new concrete, thing. Should we go stamped concrete or this concrete or that? And so we got all these different decisions we had to make, and this and that. And I know, Cheryl, you're building this unbelievable pool right now, and we got to post pictures of that on there. And I know it's on your Facebook page. You always give updates on that, and it's a work in progress. But this pool is hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the things that Cheryl is doing, and I talked to Jonathan a lot, and he shows me all the different pictures of things that he's doing for it. I mean, Cheryl and Jonathan have a new level of thinking in this world. I mean, it is not thinking small. And this is we got to get you out of this small thinking. Stop playing small in life. We got to start playing big. And it's not just that, but I know, Cheryl, recently and it was something we encourage people to do, is not only just remodel their house, like think of your dream bedroom, your dream bathroom, your dream backyard, your dream kitchen, like all these are separate projects that you would put down. Like, I want to have this kitchen. I want to have this type of bathroom, so these are ideas you can put down on the things that you're pleasuring. Yeah, Cheryl, go ahead.
Well, and you know what, I just wanted to say, Paul, look, you guys, it doesn't matter what you put on there, right? You can put something small and, I just like to repaint. I promise you it'll happen. Or you can put something huge, and you can put something that you can't even believe could ever happen, because I promise you that will happen too. And I think this is so fascinating to me, because I never realized that, right? So I would always say, and as I ask people, when we very first start out on this whole purpose thing, it's, well, I'd like to, let's just say a hairdresser. Well, I'd like to own my own salon. Okay, well, what else? I need to know some other things. Like, wouldn't you like to be a hairdresser for so-and-so in LA and fly with them all around the world? And they're like, what? Well, but that's really how I want you to start thinking. Paul said, think bigger. I mean, think like you can't even imagine it, right? Because like I'm saying, it will happen. Okay, it will happen. So why not make it the biggest and the best?
Yeah. So not only think about how you want your house to look and every room, think about how many houses you want to own. You know, so that's the next step for Sheryl, is owning the houses. And Sheryl, I know, so you got the house and the pool and stuff, but let's talk about, so Sheryl, I'm always pushing Sheryl to think bigger. She's pushing me to think bigger. And I actually have a coffee mug in my office here. It says think bigger. So that's my big saying. And I know I pushed Sheryl to think bigger on a family. She wanted to take a family vacation. So she wanted, you know, to take her husband and her children on a vacation. So I said, you got to think bigger on this. So I made her go research vacations. So she went to this, just happened to come across this Norwegian cruise site. And then there was a button on there that says, only the best will do. So she clicked on that, and then a whole new picture came in her mind. I want Sheryl to explain this to you about, you know, she always had nice, you know, okay rooms, like you know, you start off like the regular rooms on a cruise that we know the bathroom is about, you know, yay big. It's like a phone booth. And then you know, I think you had a balcony room, right? A couple times.
Oh yeah, and you guys, let me be clear. I thought I had the best room on a cruise because I had a balcony. Okay, so I didn't realize that there was anything better. Now, I did know that there was something called a suite, right? So I kind of knew that there was that available, but I never really thought about it. I was like, look, the balcony's okay. So you've got a couple of beds, you have bunk beds. The last cruise I went on, not the one that I just went on, less than a month ago, but the last one before that, we had bunk beds in there, and then we had a bed. So Jonathan and I had a bed, and then the kids had bunk beds, and we had one bathroom. And I thought, oh, well, that's really quite nice. That's quite nice. And so Paul's like, go and, you know, so do the research. So I did the research, and I clicked on this button, only the best will do. Oh my goodness. Now listen, I cannot even believe it. So we decided, the family, to take this cruise. And you guys, it's not one room. It's not two rooms. It's 3 huge rooms, 3 huge bathrooms. It is, it's a huge living room. It's a kitchen. It is, you go outside, and oh, first of all, nobody can get up to your room. Only you can, because you have like a special key to get up to your own room. Not only that, but you go outside, and there's 3 levels. There's 3 levels of your outdoor living on this cruise ship. You guys, we have our own hot tub. We've got our own, you know those big, huge beds that like 6 people can fit on? They have 3 of those outside on the upper deck. They have a place for you to sit and enjoy your breakfast. They have a steam room for you to go in, your own steam room. Like I said, your own hot tub. Listen, they have literally everything for you. Not only that, get this, 6,600 square feet. You guys, it's totally unbelievable. But guess what? Only the best will do. So that's not all you get. You get your own butler. And so you have this phone, like it's the bat phone, and you call your butler 24/7, whenever you want, for whatever you want. So, oh, I want this. I want that. Oh my gosh, it's so unbelievable. That was kind of hard to get used to coming off that boat, because I was like, help, I need to call somebody. So we had that. And then we also had another guy that cleaned everything and did everything for us, just for us. And then we also had a concierge. Now listen, the concierge, we loved her, and she would take us everywhere. Oh, well, you need to be the first person on the tender off the boat. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do that. Oh, here's your private dining room. Oh, you've got your chef. Oh, you've got this. You've got that. Oh, you have your own box seats at every single event that they had on the ship. So not only do you have your own everything on the ship, but you have someone taking you there and delivering you so that you're there, right? You never had to wait in a line ever coming off the boat. That was worth it to me. Coming off the boat, no line, nothing. They walk you off and they put you on to your, wherever it was, we were going on a boat back to the JW Marriott, but I'm not kidding you, it was unbelievable. So You guys, dream big. Go on there and look at these things and see them. You will not believe it. But Paul, there's only one problem with this. I will never go on another cruise without having the absolute best, because now I know. So, you know, keep that in mind, right? But now guess what, Paul? I want to take other people with me. I want to take like my brand new 5 stars. Let's go on a cruise together. Let's get this place. Let's, you know, oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so exciting to hear that. And it's about raising your standards. So if that's not for you, then put something else down. Maybe you are the more focused on the kitchen or the backyard or whatever you're focused on, that's it. A lot of people are focused on cars. Some people couldn't care less what car they drive. If you're a car person, go drive the best car, you know, go out and drive the Lamborghini, drive the Porsche, whatever you really want, your dream car, get in it and feel what it feels like to drive that car. It is unbelievable. You know, I own a Range Rover. I own a BMW convertible that Youngevity pays for. You know, so we went out and we test drove these cars first, and we felt how it feels to drive that. And it was such an amazing feeling to have that, because we never had those kind of cars before. And that feeling is what drove me day in and day out. They say, Paul, how do you work so much? Why are you up at 6 a.m. every day and working till midnight every day? Like, I'm just work, signing up people like crazy. Like, what drives you? It's just all these things that are in my mind, these reasons, and they're my reasons. So everyone's reasons are going to be the same. Now, for me, I love flying first class. I will not get on an airplane unless I'm flying first class. Now, other people may say, well, Paul, the plane lands at the same time. It doesn't matter what seat you sit in. Listen, this is me, okay? This is what I want in my life. And, you know, maybe that's not what you want, but there's other things that you want that I don't want. You know, so I love the word perfect, because a perfect life for you I may not want a pickup truck. You may think, Paul, that the F-150 truck, that would be my dream, you know, to have that. I don't want trucks. I don't like trucks. You do. I love SUVs, or, you know, and it can be anything in life. So this has got to be very specific to you. So we're trying to give you examples. We're trying to stretch your limits on this, but this is something that you need to sit down and do yourself. And a great way to do this is to go back to being a 2-year-old. So is it 2 or 3, Sheryl, where your children ask why all the time?
Oh my land, yes. And
okay.
For some kids, it continues.
It continues, yeah.
Good, but yes.
So the Sheryl's new thing on her list is getting a yacht. So yeah, this room she had was phenomenal, but now she's like, well, the next step would be to own my own yacht. And it's so funny because we're looking at yachts together. We're trying to find the right yacht for Sheryl. And I actually flew in the night before the convention, I flew in a few hours before Sheryl did. And so we're in our room, and I'm looking out the window, and you know, we take a walk down the bay there, and we see all these yachts, you know. But then we start walking back, and as we're walking back, this other yacht pulls in, literally an hour before Sheryl's about to land. And I text Sheryl. I said, OMG, wait till you see this. I found it. And it was called Here Comes the Sun. It just pulls up in the San Diego Bay just when we are about to start the convention. This $200 million yacht, which is, Cheryl's like, that's it. You know,
right outside my window.
Right outside the window. And we've been looking for a long time for the right yacht, and we finally found it. You know, now we took pictures of it, and Sheryl is envisioning now that I already own that. We're going to throw a party on that boat. So get the 5-star, because you got to be 5-star to be at that party. But we're going to throw a party on that boat, and it's going to be a great party. So you got to visualize that happening, and things start happening in your life, as Sheryl mentioned, that are absolutely crazy when you start thinking that way. We're going to have a special Facebook Live we're going to be doing very, very soon with a great friend of ours, top distributor in the company, named Steve Blackburn. And Steve's done something that blew my mind away. And he created this book. And he's going to show it to you right here on Facebook Live. And he, in the book, him and his wife sat down and took pictures of everything that they want to attract into their life, places they want to go, all this, anything they want, they took a picture of it. And they made a book out of it. And underneath each picture is this big square. And I said, Steve, why is there a square under each picture? He said, it's because I want to put a check mark in this book for everything I accomplish. So they came up with 99 things that they want to have it attract into their life with pictures and descriptions on each page. And so far they've done 27 of them. They put check marks in there and they know exactly what the next page is and what they're going to do next. So, oh my gosh, everyone needs this dream book and to make one of these dream books. And Sheryl and I are going to talk a lot in the future about vision boards. We are, you know, just, we think vision boards are the greatest thing in the universe. You know, that you put this on the vision board and then Sheryl can go on and on and on about the vision board she's made. And she put things on there purposely, right, Sheryl, that you thought you would never be able to have just to test it out. Put something ridiculous on there. And so you just put a couple things, Sheryl, you had on your vision board that happened.
Well, for one thing, I had, oh, the dogs are barking, Paul. So sorry about that. I had on there that I would get married. I didn't think that would.
That's not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that is never going to happen. I put that I would have a big house. I didn't think that would ever happen. So there's all sorts of different things that I put on there. And the crazy thing is every single thing that I put on there years ago has happened.
That's fantastic. So as Sheryl mentioned, part of it is knowing the other building and knowing why you want to walk across this 500 plank to get to the other side. There has to be some very attractive things on that other side for you to want to walk across this plank. But we're going to up the ante a little bit, okay? We're going to help you walk across that plank a little faster. So not only do we have all these things on the other side that you want to attract into your life, there's what we're going to do on the building you're standing on. So you're standing on this building. Remember I talked about 2 buildings. So you're standing on this building and the other building's over here that you want to get to. So there's a 500-foot plank between the 2 of them. So the building you're standing on right now and the plank you're about to walk across to get these things that you want into your life that you just wrote down, we're going to start that building on fire. You know, so that you got to get off that building, okay? And the big reason why people never achieve the desired results that they want in their life is because their life is good now. The worst enemy of great is good. So you're comfortable. That's your biggest problem right now, is that you're comfortable and that you haven't made your standards higher. I will not accept this anymore in our life. And I think a lot of us are taught as children to just listen, this is good enough. You be happy with what you have. And don't get me wrong, Sheryl and I, we teach all types of classes on gratitude. You're never going to find 2 people in this world that are more grateful than Sheryl and I. We believe in being grateful. We actually believe in, we're satisfied. We're so grateful and happy with what we have. We just want more. And you got to have that attitude or you're not going to have a great life. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this growth concept in a little bit here, but you're either growing or you're dying. So you may think that, well, my life is fine just the way it is, but what's happening when you say that is it's actually dying. It's actually going backwards. So you've got to keep what's next in my life. What are we going to do next? And setting new goals and having new standards set to make things better all the time in your life. But what are so we got to have this building we're standing on now is on fire. So what is it that is on fire in your life? What is bothering you in your life? And you've got to have things that are bothering you. Sheryl just did an amazing speech at the convention, and she talked about this concept of disgust. So, Sheryl, can you come on and talk about the Jim Rohn story real quick about the woman and the?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's so interesting because I heard you tell your story and what changed your life just a couple minutes ago. So that was really interesting because it made me think of this whole story that Jim Rohn tells about this woman who, so she's a stay-at-home mom, and she asked her husband one day for $10, and he said the 2 words that completely changed her life forever. He said, "What for?" And on that day, at that moment, she promised herself that she would never have to ask him for money again. And she went on to build a multi-million-dollar business, right? And so that's really so important because there's these things that happen in your life You're like, that's it. And the same thing happened to me. And I talked about this when I was at convention, when I was at Taco Bell. I couldn't make ends meet. Okay. That really sucks. When you cannot make ends meet, you have to do all these things to barely survive. And so there comes a day, and that day for me was when I went in and asked the manager, hey, I need a raise. I can't survive on what I'm making. He said, absolutely not. Get back to work. And so, these times, and think about that. There could have been time in your life when this has already happened, right? It's already happened to you. And Paul and I are going to go over a few things like that. These fires that really move us forward. They propel us forward through thick and thin, through anything, to get that result that we want.
Yeah, absolutely. So there has to be, you have to, there's two things that motivate us in life. There's inspiration, and that's what we just talked about, the thought of being inspired to have this new kitchen or this new backyard or this vacation or this new car, or whatever it is that's inspiring you to donate to special causes or charities that are near and dear to your heart. So all these things are inspiring us. So there's we do things for one of two reasons, either inspiration or desperation. And we need some desperation in our life too. So there's things like a statement that I wrote is because, and the word because is super powerful. So you want to start all these statements out with the word because I am sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I just hate that feeling. So I don't want to feel that again. That oh, am I going to have enough money at the end of the month kind of feeling. A lot of people write down because I hate my commute to and from work every day. So that's something that you just dislike about your current situation. That building you're on now has got to be on fire. The life you have now cannot be good enough anymore. Other things that because I hate not having financial certainty in my life, that feeling of, I don't know where my money's coming from. And actually, a lot of you, and I know some of you have some job security because you got a contract or some kind of thing that's made your life secure, your job secure. But many people watching this video, you're going to write down because I could lose my job at any time, which is the truth. I mean, as stable as you think your job is, there's a chance you go into work today and they say, we're making cuts, you're fired. 97% of all businesses go out of business. So, there's thousands and thousands of people every single day that lose their job that really woke up this morning thinking that they weren't going to lose their job today. So, what are some other ones, Sheryl, that are near and dear to your heart about painful things that either you've experienced or that people could write down in this area here of 5 different things that are, what are the fires in your life?
Well, one of my favorite ones is, for me, one of the fires was making sure that my kids could go to the best school. Right? Because if you don't, if you don't have that might go a little more towards the other one, but it's really giving, is that one giving your kids?
Well, you can say that either way. So you can say, I don't want my kids to kind of have the life that I live, or not go to the best school, or have to, cut corners on their education and go to a lower school as opposed to a better school. So you can write it in the positive or negative, but we want to look at things, and this is something, obviously, Sheryl's children are very near and dear to her heart, and it's something that's really would bother her if she couldn't send them to the school she wanted to send them to. So we want to look for things, and it may be just restating something you set up above. That let's just take the flying first class thing for me. Because I want to fly first class. Though I can also write the statement under the pain thing that, I don't want to fly coach, because that's ultimate pain. And I actually, there's a long story behind it, but I had to recently because of a crazy situation. And, I told Sheryl that was the most important hour flight of my year, or most important hour of my year, because I got to go back and not have that. If someone took my BMW away from me, my BMW convertible, and made me drive some other lesser car, that would be a great thing for me to experience, because the pain of doing that would be so strong that I'm like, that will never happen again. So there's got to be things, and those may not be the best examples, but you got to think in your life, what is bothering you? This is all about you. And again, this is you locking yourself into a room and really think about what are the things bothering you. And a lot of times people are going to say, well, Paul, nothing's bothering me. It's because we've covered it over. We put this, we had this bad looking wall. We put a coat of paint on top of it and said the wall's fixed. So we sugarcoat things in our minds. We're built as humans to cover these things up, but we can't do that in this situation. We have to really dig down and think, what are the things that we're not going to accept anymore? It can be, I'm sick and tired of my commute. I think I said this before, your commute back and forth to work. A couple times I forget about how bad traffic is at 8:30 in the morning, and I'll tell someone, oh, let's meet at 9 for coffee at such and such Starbucks. And then I start driving. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I set a 9 o'clock appointment. I mean, that should be like rule one in my life. Never set an appointment for 9 a.m. because I never want to be in drive time traffic. I don't have to be. This office of mine here is where I do all my work. My office is 30 feet from my bedroom. That's my commute in the morning. When I go home, I walk 30 feet. So that's how I want to live my life. There's no way I would ever sit in traffic. I don't know how anyone sits in traffic. It is the worst feeling in the world, is sitting in traffic. So I don't know how people have jobs and sit in traffic. It's completely beyond me. But you got to find out what's bothering you the most and write those things down. So moving on, we want to cover the last page here in the last few minutes of this video here, because it's so important. So now we have why we want to walk across the plank, the pleasure that we're going to see on the other side. We have this building that's on fire, so we want to get off this building as fast as possible, our current life. But there's also things that are going to happen to you when you get across the plank that you're probably not even aware of. So we want to turn to page 10 and just really read through these quickly here, and I'll describe what you're going to experience when you get to the other building. Number one, you're going to experience growth. Okay, because achieving these results forced me to grow into becoming an excellent leader. And there's nothing in the world that makes me feel as good or as fulfilled as growing does. So if we were ask 100 people what makes you feel good, we'd get 100 different answers. I'm telling you, the correct answer is growth. When we're improving, when things are getting better, when things are growing in our lives and getting better, we feel great. When they're dying, getting worse, not improving, we don't feel good. So you're going to feel so good because of the person you had to grow into to get to 5-star. Getting to 5-star is not going to be a big deal, but becoming that person is everything. So that's a huge thing. Number two, because achieving those results means I've directly and indirectly contributed to helping people get what they want in life, which is, we talk about health, money, and time, the three things that people need the most. So growth and contribution, those two things will make you feel amazing. Contributing to other people's lives is so fulfilling that you're gonna have this fulfilled feeling when you're contributing to other people's lives. Number three, because achieving these results has forced me to build a strong connection with my enroller, my 9 top leaders. These connections are priceless. So the connection I have with Sheryl, my enroller, and all my leaders is priceless. We have a blast together. I love my top 9 leaders. They're so awesome. And that connection you're going to really, really appreciate here at Youngevity, being surrounded. We work with these people that sometimes we hate, in our jobs. But here you get to pick the 9 people that you want to work with. Number 4 is it talks about being significant. I felt so significant when I walked across that stage and got that medallion, that 5-star medallion. I'll never forget that moment of doing that. It's a very, very special moment in my life. And now I'm focused on helping other people achieve that same feeling of that significance. So you can, when you're dying, you can look back at your life and say, you know what? I did something with my life. I became a 5-star. I affected a lot of lives, both directly and indirectly, because of going 5-star. That feeling of significance is something we all need in our lives. Variety. I get to meet new people every single day. That's a huge, huge need of all of ours is to have variety in our lives. So being able to meet all these new people along the way is going to be very fulfilling for you. And last but not least, it's the certainty. So because achieving these results has given me extreme financial certainty. This financial certainty has brought me a sense of feeling, a sense of relief like nothing I've ever experienced. I never have to worry about money again. So we all need certainty in our lives, and that's what building this business will give you, is real certainty. There's no certainty in having a job. You could be fired at any time. Nobody can fire you from Youngevity. You are in for life once you have your own business. It's your business. Nobody can fire you. And when you build this and you have that residual paycheck coming in every month, it's going to last forever. So I love this saying at the bottom here. It says success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. So we don't just want to have success in our lives. We want to have fulfillment. And this page number 10 talks about fulfillment and all the things that are going to happen when we make it across that plank for 500 feet. So we're out of time here. We finished hour number 2. We're going to be doing hour number 3 next. And I can't wait to do that as we go over module number 3. Right, Sheryl?
That's right. And that is the whole action plan, the massive action plan. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And I love it, Paul, because like you said, that this workbook will help you on all of these steps, will help you build that confidence that you need. So you can take this, run with it, and get this started right away. So make sure that you write your result, though. That's the most important thing that you can do, and your purposes. If you don't have that, I promise you, you are not going to be able to be successful in owning your own business. You have to do that. So great. Thank you so much, you guys. I had a great time today, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Right, Paul?
Yep, we're going to do hour number 3 coming up. So do your homework tonight, though.